Yɛnyina enim court nsensem a ekoso a de bechi na Mr President a de bechi Madam Lawyer na yese nsensem bebre na se otimi sa no ayeden. So what you say? And my lord no. Nsensem a ekoso efa eye aba ya tu ye hu no. Still ye ka yenyan kan wi ye gusu a ye ka. Na ohwe eye picture ya woni gusu ya wo hwe ya. Chachu chikata ene gina hoyi. Na chidifo omudi na chi court no. Omo ene tete ho mada no maame na o hye rig na one wada kora si ne kon ase ana papa no so de ne nsa tu wada kora nam kageti ho baabi baba jama ene eda wo akire ho no a enya asem ketwa wei mo ene omu free eye court dem ho a information sa anasa questions ebusa atatuti kata no omo antie o ompie ya no metu afuturo agu Ghana fo ani wada opie na na obeto afuturo emfuturo agu Ghana fo nyina ani wonim asem kuresi wo court ho wada so what I say momentie eye nsem a Ghana fo bia de hye nso de aba betu dwase emfama ye papa John Dramani Mahama say eye court ho nsensem ne o ma ekoso no say maka chem say ye page isu de de besi ewo ha bia na ye bebra mu na ye nyina ya share ideas ye wo ha se ye be kire ya adwene na papa yi edi nsem bi aba betu dwa ye very important wasi nyina ye share na yetimi eye de ehunu no kure bi ewum na ye nyina da ye ho so yentie eye audio a ode baaye ene nsem potia all ka wo mu no yewi ade aka no mede san de aka mo ho nsem a oka ye no baako ene se o kire se ye papa John Dramani mama o ma no eye format bi anke betimi aboa no se de be ya anko betimi akonanim e wa abaye a ye atuwe mu but wantimi anye saa adwumadi na according to papa yi nsem a oka
Dramani Mahama ene NDC for mpanimfo ne o mechitaifo se yesre omo magana nyomaye omo magana enyo if say ya bre ya twen ya from 2020 edi aba besi sa pempenso yi yensa agene ya bre ye ni interest bia asem ni nyina ne se wawi ni aba obia wo wiase ehwe se court evidence besu enunkoa ni obia target entimi amanesa ewo se wa hunu se waluzu untimi nko court without evidence enye ya no asem ene ye ka uko court na se me kasa na wo ekuonaba me do court na nso kasa na me amedo ko ye no me ni evidence bia eye 1-1 draw case ni ye 1-1 draw nti ti asem ne tra na se wo kwaji bibi tum wa asem no mu dia ene ni agina so ebu wefo enye saa na wo defend wa asem a eye 1-1 draw obia nkoda yapon wei enti owura Mahama onimu ana onim na nti waba be di president wo Ghana yen so nipa dom enim difoɔ ankukuda makesifoɔ ebi ya adwuma wo United Nations ebi agigi din ya adwuma akese abrochire ha big appointment wo mu nyina gu o manim enti Mahama president excellency your ex-president say enana o competency eriche ene yeti ase to aba pa ma 2012 ese bedi enso wa me ye ni ewu papa me nye politics president bi obebe bia o president yebu no nanso wagu yanimu ase in the history of Ghanaian presidents no wagu yanimu ase ye tire se to adai Maame ma critical analysis na wan kasa peke na next time se pani bia na obi ya ade a wohu opani e wunim se wa anwini aba no wa wunim enti wantimi ankansi so dua e wa abra ye bobo aba no wieye udi kogina parliamentarians so se mo wini over 140 seats. Anything no, possible say ube win presidential also. No nkyerɛ sɛ we win. Unim numbers ni nyinaa, figures ni nyinaa unim. Enti sɛ baby sɛ ye transmit ɛna baby mistake ya ba hɔ a. Ura fa saa evidence no kujina court na proof say na Ashanti region mode ya target all the time. De bia mo pese Asante mine na mugu o mani mu ase. Ye nto ma we by force. Ya nto ama wo ho ni ato ama o region mu a. Eni ntia wo se mo ade a ya san ese bibia nsi wa Ashanti region still. Asiedu Nketia timi kofa ba eboso. All the time mo pese mo discredit ye. Na yeti ho ne ye hwe mo. Asantefo ye nai. Akanfo nso o mo nai. Na emom ye nyina ye Ghana fo ye jutum sa. Me a me kasa kire no. Me team me namfofo ye collective. Ewesi wum. Nofness wum. Ye di agro free nkwala brim school time o. Edi enyinyini. Enti se me te abrochire ha kra na metimi awale broni ne natena. Enye mikrom bibini Ghana ni. Nenso ura Mahama udi nchichemu eba Ghana. All the time NDC fo aye se mo di Ashanti region beye adie ase all the time mo benya criticism. Mo criticize ye all the time without evidence. Ya mo den. Maye ntina man mu ana yenye federal state. Aden. Se wo pese 2024 ene wani abre entia se de nioma nyina di adanse ye se wo pefe against 2024. Enti na wokɔkɔɔto no. If you say wa ankasa wo ne onkrofo wadansefo edi atodwa ama ye nyina ye hunu se wo se enye se wuwi ni Ghana ye niska se wu nti wo president yensa ankoto aba una abetua hoka na obetua hoka meme maame a okodi lie so no wo be mani sika se na wa omfa nkoto aba o ka se nwan bi na wodu sika atoye ana ena wa operate ye se de opebia hwe ura Mahama population na wo no a omoto aba ma wo no basa bisi enye omu nyina na bedi wachi o nti mark on the wall obi wo ho a wo ya abstain oni party bia obi wo ho a oni party bia the obe convention no day of voting no ato ama wo no pentoko enenye nipa ni nyina akra na register ye na see population over 30 million na mu 13 million plus I register 17 million no ye yi ayalefo ne nkwala free mu a omo ntimi nto aba free mu a sen na beka on say amount beka no ene omo register ni nyina ye pe enti si yesan cha omo register enu mu de kokasa nkrofo no ho a we ye sure pa say basabasasi a wo ho nka openi ene Ghana mpeni for me ma waso ate owura Mahama mona mu woska o ehiafo de ese ade asofo yukra de bi saleka na mo amu woska no mona mu wu eya eba ehiafo dom ni gibuma ofie ene dikan enti wo sika anase oye openi wo Ghana no na wo se wo make sure se ade eye basabasa bi nsi wa ye nhwe han na nke jabia nhyehyehye o market ne bibia comments ya NDC fo komema ye nti after comments no eja ehye Before comments, no, asofo nso ahye nkom si jabehye NDC for asofo. Ampa ehye. Maye nkola te se yibi. Maye wisre se ton no na mudi edi agro o man. Openi upese udia abana. Ma menkyerɛ wo kwan a enka wo befa so a wafeli. Wafeli wo ye felu a. Upese uba abani bi mu a. Enka the day a ye bobo aba nkrofo TC krom na the following time no sa havoc burning havoc ye hyehyehye nkrofo no yoma no. This was your chance. Sa asem we see and nanka ye owura Mahama wo chance a wo betimi awiusu de awi ni 2024. Agye na dwunu mu do na beti ase. Ghana for ye do ye man. Ansa na mekire wa de krontia no. Me pese me ka kire o se Ghana ye do ye man. Enu nti ene ye tonyum eka se gEneral assassin ayabode dem to ayabode dem maye moja ye nananum hwegu enya de to ho ma ye no no. Moja ene ya fight ye nananum age country na si ho. Ama me no wo Mahama nyina. Na de obetimi aye ato aso no. Eno ne se ya wanya president ye ni a obia ni ho adwene wo ni tirima obetimi adi. Enti de agye na to mu no chenchena ye nyini mfiri so. Na wa ye to aba wo feli ye ne ye ma wo medi so. Na no oni Odifour. Oni achitafo. Enipa no omtoma no ne etemamufo omo mpe basabasa no. Wo firi se omo beba abedi wachi ana. Ena make a kire no. The smartest way ne say enkeja ne hye ya na yewura Mahama waba abontin kan. Wabegyina TV so no announce NDC ni bia uti street ko hye tai ne ho ahwan. Mesre aban a osi so ne Ghana your authorities say momfa mbo ne nkyere. Na minya mensa ena mede ko hye ye. Ena nipadom nso na ye nhunu mokọ edu ti momfa omo nso bo ne nche omo. Na emomu no de ni dan ni bibi ahye ne ne nyoma ahye no me ye se nka mekọ court. If is open say wa nim say court ndi okọ a unwi ni dada 2024 nti na wo ye. Tinanko waka ne say wo ye so obekọ court. Nenso ena mahyehyehye nti udi scanner de beko court no eko compensate omo asisi stores na ma omo de beka wa hye omo obi ansem ka wutimi kura wasan asra aban a ote so se aban mesrew de ma ho odin beduru ne duru ba bi asomasene ne ye nsan state omo back ka wuye ni sei a ena ade warning to ho se national pledge NDC ni bia nkabi. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us. Truth, the blood and toil of our fathers, of our forefathers, not you. So, wohu se unka wenti onye Ghana ni ka wo kai nsem we se wo ye Ghana ni a ka abedwene Ghana ho ka obehu se akokọ bakra ehye a eye Ghana ejapade obi betimi awe ama na nya nkwa afiri ne kom onua owura Mahama de wudi utimi ye ne se watem sika twitwiri de ente se de akogina court ena owura lawyer chachu nso onde wo ye na adwuma asem nim ho okra obekasa asem wo ho ena mo de disturb Ghana sa se concentration aban ni benya amye dia solve coronavirus any development issues monye research say enka wo Mahama wo beka ho na wo de wadwene kyerɛ sɛ yɛmfa kwan we so ne nyina yɛ team up na etimi a fortify wo national pledge no ene wo anthem no. A person who wants to be a president cannot afford to do that. You can't deliver this small thing. So on strategy na machro no. Senka wo be bo NDC for koko. Anyway chita for say there be me mama o memu se me de o say ye ne ntokwa na ebeba. Asumdue hene eye yewura His Excellency Atamesa wanya ne baby ko. Na ye na eye o di preachi. Eninti se wo appoint me na me di na chi no me ya asumdue ni. Wa wo be tu bibia na wo be hye bibia na wo be ye ade bia di oyo ne beba no police nso mu. Efri senye sa na me Mahama me de tete machi difo. Ye ba oman no mu se ye be ye oman ni yi agye asiye. Enu nti se akoba ni sei na se menya empo se menti resource na se a eye court na meko. Nanso mwadi menimu kan ahyehye ne oman nti court no minko. Sika na me de kɔ court no eno na me de kɔ repair nkrofo endan ama wo mo. Kame say we ni say ya 2024 Oma wo mo edan hye ye kra beto ama. Ekufu ado ne ye pɛ na sem too much. Enti nko ni ho na wo twa ne ten wo wi a. Enka wo chance ye ni. Se wa ya ma NDC mu. Enimdifo ani anyansafo omo do Ghana omu nyina empe. Ajimu ntaka Mubarak mu atutrafo no ene omo nim atem die obi e otukondo hwan mo no ma begina ho kasa mu mutimi elect president of Ghana. How dare you? Sa boy no oye lawyer ntidie. Oye lawyer obi nsusu ye pa opa. Oye Ghana ni channel. Oye Ghana ni channel mi busao. Wa begina ho se president elect. Ene nam ho twika ekoba yanzo mu. Hwe masa Papa Prosi mama mra na enye adwuma obi anso beti atwea o uchi obi a yenso ye beba begina ho aka kiro se kochi de odi kan ye we ansa enu nti na eni se o skipo wate eti esremu medeme nsemo be wie no ru Mahama wa fili ti ase na koda NDC fo ni se de Mahama kra baso obepe Ghana president biem. Why mistake no big one ewie. Wa mana elite say still OWUSU osika dia ene e fama futuo no. Na sa be ka kire o mo say o compensate o ma ya hyehye o mo ne o manyina. Efise onim say aba ne ye nkoto. Say o me Maame o be ma ne €100 dia ene Dokono obe spending the time akogina line mu ato aba na ya to awie ne yensa nkoto onya 49 de ora Mahama ye bumra ne so onsu bumra ne so 49 kra e bro 47 na wo kan e mro so na se ye nyina ye di mra ne so de a ene na de obobo ye na de electoral commission una adi ni kosi ho una adi ni ko school anti aba yabu ya toama bebia polling station bia of numbers figures no constituency bia of figures region bia of figures Mahama we no nkrofo mo nko Ghana mu ni bi na onim se de mo ye o TV so no ewiase nyina na ehwe wana na obi nsu timi begina ho ena anti akufu ado san to aso adi wona nana nka nto aso ni wo fa ho na bra be di president wo yeso When ye mfa ni Mahama ni dia obia ni wiase biem. Agye say NDC nko a meboa. Yato de yato abayi no. Ene abato on mibusa mo say yekoto ye den. Ada na manka say sika ne time ye be waste ato aba no. Obi antena ne fie ne ye ntama kufu adu mfiri so mfa Mahama nkosi so. Na say ye win and lose game dia why na apesu on lose. Lose ne ya odia. Eni o manyina di adanse wo figures no. Fabra court a wo mfa ma. Wo yesa na wo ma enipa bi nso atena se adwene se ene e be se mo nso so mu ye mu create mu own figures. Anka mu di be ye bibi e na anya yie nti na wani abre no. Ana se ya asofo ni die ntra. Ya adwene ho aye nte ase e bra na be kirekire ye mu owura. Court no wo ya ni ama wa o nte ase. Odifour eno nso a o nte ase. Soja fo ampene se munye brasabasa ye beba o nte ase. Parliament House ye besue na president in basabasa si ho soja be calm down eno nso o nte ase. Ye hihihihye neoma Honorable Kennedy Agyapong enso atro challenge se moto aso hye a me nso me retaliate hwan na entena won ye hye neoma muka se ye nkwasiafo mu abi won eno nso a mo nte ase mo ya mo firi se mo na mo wa no masa enya anu nko a o upe ebo ato agba no ma no ope baby obetu asi enti de mo ye no mama nkrofo bebre nso anya adwenfufuro bi ebobo a wo mo ho na ya asumdue man no hwan na de baaye si ye bodin hyemra foforo a eni ho a ana ye bodin sesamra na ye bonsam busue ni ebe kakra ye be ye firi so se president ubedi so a enam owura Mahama records nti yem prosecute no se ye fine case bia na nyesa enka airbus case mento aso me de ubesi ya na emomu no maame no onkogina adaka biem umpo yebu awie koda so opesu okogina adaka ma wo begina adaka mi entoto ano umpe ho umpesu obegina adaka 2 times umpe 2 times the kind ewo election case no koginem ansa na airbus de no wasan koginem aka ho 2 Owura Mahama Ghana nyo japadi o nyo pocket money na ade build adan nesi o no yesam ye mfifiri eto ye neoma nketenkete no wo nka ho bi unim bia ye contribute from foreign country say ye de ebe sustaining socio-economic development of Ghana no wo de what Ghana na wo benefit from resources of the country what you say uwie ya wasan bigina ho say yen ye de kakra na ya bebre no yen san hye no ye beba na ye neoma ahyehye uye Yesu una abo me una abo soro ni asase ne mabusuafo na wa be hyehye wo mra ama me mra wudi so me upeso di me mra so anka me ma ire no wabusuafo ano aduane asimi ho ano pa bia me sori a o ma horo mentade ani me bibia atoso me ni power ono unsu ni power o me so masa we ordinary citizen wa be the president that I give you that respect beside no you are nobody ura tenase na yasomundwe ne yenye nto aso na corona no ehun ne oma bebre o hodo my Ghana invest wo corona no mu enipa ewu eye serious sika ne ye desa udi sika ne gina court we nyina ye catch say we wicked Madam se Ghana for
okay
the owaso no wontie we nya politics
ebusianfo was we enye politics we business tycoon for mo so person mo de investors ba my Ghana mu ba ko na e kasa yi a wo kire se emrofo no kire se mukromo na ho nwo saa de wi akoto nsensem kono mu nim de besie nti ama adwuma mebere slow down nti omo nso bu afu na omo nso de omo message eba say owura Mahama njem na omo nya kwan be ye omo adwuma na wasa kire idea kura kan wo say nke owura Mahama etimi gu nneomam e ma ne nkofo tiase a nke ebi kura anka eye 2024 ha kura na eja nka afama no but see a wayere nneoma so pampe ne ade no also enya ade a ebetimi afa according to papa yi asem wo kan ye yensa nso entie another man onso message onso e de aba onso ye very important onso emu do ankasa question wo busa no wo anu yi abetimi le comment nso go na ye nyina ya kenkan yentie ye papa nso nsem onso e de aba
mabusuafo enen so bio esremo ani die na meba mo nche monim se me de me ba ene me beboa Ghana ne hiama se Ghana dwene ho na boa ma yimpuntu yakwanim na mtaa beka ho asem me de asem hia bi ba epese omyensunsum no ne anwene ho ne nuru ye mpanimfo asomaye ne titru ya lawyer fo mesre mabo dina senkase mo edu lawyer morisampa wo ho a kamepepa sanse wo obi a esusu se otimi suma asem eso di ho nkomo na o try so betu ho na mo nso ene asem a me bebusa ne se so according to our constitution no ya papa John Mahama ayi asutire ebi ese adwene ho na ne nyina ne se ya papa John Mahama try se obesa abaso bio na amama adwene akọ constitution no so ahunu se no kura since 1992 nyame bo a ye mfa ya papa Rollins amamu asoma yenya a set down constitution na regulations e de bebu o man no na enam se na eye soja amamu pure lentino omo ya de bet enya ade wie pay pa because na omo nye the real politicians fully enti omo so ne omo de a ombetimi ena omo ye na enso day in day out no rebia hu se constitution no rebia nsem pia ehiama changes ne amendments samokaya Supreme Court nsem we semutie ne ya free 2013 no Supreme Court hu se election petitions ehiama lay down regulations and laws about ma next time bi ba yetimiya hwe edi asem na ohare so na to yiye timo ho ahwe a omaye changes ama niema ekwanim na ne nyina ne se question dika ne se Ghana according to our constitution no obia wo kwan se okọ how many terms Moni mi nyina ba ya adwene se obi a constitution ne kire se obi a wo kwan se okọ maximum 2 terms. They are toss me no. Na say 2 terms no. How many total of years na say involved in these 2 terms? Na every term here should be how many years? Bio emsa moni mi nyina ba ya adwene se term bia ye 4 years maximum. And 2 terms no maximum it should be 8 years. The third question is so a bet me about say obi 2 terms bet me 8.5 years 9 years 10 years and now 12 years. Nyase bia atoyiremfo bia si ana bibia ba yantimi anye election successfully at the end of the term and the bema akohia se nipa koro ontena so until say be the immediate elections na sa minim se obi terms between 2 terms between more than 8 years, 8.5 years, 9 years, 10 years. Nesenti ya papa John Mahama. So when ya kwan sa be di oman no so bi wa na ono wadi oman no so for how many years? Na no so eye no 2 terms and say 2.5 terms and say. The necessary question wo mu a epese empanimfo tie a omomoa ye na yenye amendments na yenye corrections na NCP ne se yamfa ne se ya papa tamels ekọ ne kra echi yame mfa ne kra nsie man asomdwe hene na ya papa ne wo fadwo Mahama bi di ade no the period ya papa tamels call ya Ewura Mahama bae no na ye acting president no ye acting president na say interim president. Now the next question is so now ye acting president dear aye then when ye to me ono timi choose ono ane vice president so now ye acting ana interim president a will replace a train for Atamels minims or chairman Atamels aba na say or transfer kusisi ebeto for above for so na ye acting or interim president there didn't know near to me na otimi ya reshuffling me din komo yi pen na am say abusuafo a motie me nei mo beboa amna kwachiri ye enti se no ye acting na yedika wo si de timi choose enya tumi no no choose ono ne vice president. For example, say Nanado tu kwanya anase wa yare mfanze o yara na wa tu kwan okwe bibia nipa wo si nanan eye ne vice president automatically enti we acting ana interim president enti the vice president no onu ni to me say obe choose onu ani vice president and when need to me so be reshuffling ewo ministers and BBM because all act onye the real president and before so obi benye to me no choose onu ani vice president no onye to me so timi reshuffling of ministers ni ade ade no let's just say oye the real president and it's ya Atamels akwada there's no way menkuma dwenemo no yetime fa ne say ya papa John Mahama be president no or act ana say interim for ya papa Atamels because ono akwada e BBS and whoever is taking place no or take place among one as a president according to law. Now sabe be fast nenko base ye kwatoaba ye kwese mre ye kwese sikenti no na constitution no ahia nhye se atoyrenfo saaba na president ni free hwa acting president automatically obey president. In this way, no, menkuma dwenimu na asem ne mba ya dwene dia for the first time no ya papa John Mahama be president na oye president ana yesa to ababiu no wene anye bia no wanya say 6 years it is wasaba for another 4 terms bia abusuafo na ono nko na onya 10 years on terms na eboa we mama dwene twesi say ye constitution no ehɔ no akakakra it was say parliament ni supreme court ne mranimfoɔ no yɛ nhyehyɛ na yɛyɛ serious amendments na hɔ no yɛde si because ewiase biribi atumi si yɛmmɔ mpaeɛ sɛ bɔne mmra yɛmmɔ mpaeɛ sɛ amanehunu nsi nanso betumi aba sɛ obi bɛyɛ president in the first year no either lorry accident or yare na bibi ɛte saa na wafiri mu nti the vice president no bɛyɛ president or bɛyɛ for 3 years nti sɛ yɛ consider ne sɛ ɔyɛ acting anaasɛ interim president a ne yɛhye no to gu a na akyire ɔwɔ chance for another 2 terms a mo nyinaa mo calculate na nipa korɔ no wadi ɔman so for how many years mo me anwene ho mesra mo a sɛ mo yi mo me ani ho nkɔmmɔ ne yɛnwɔ so na yɛ mpanimfoɔ no parliament ne wɔn mu a stakeholders a sɛ mo yi wɔn ka ho bi yi no wɔn nwene ho ma yɛ ne yɛmfa sɛm ne nsi deɛ twa toɔ ɛwɔ asɛm wei ho ɛbɛyɛ papa ɛbɛyɛ nhyehyɛ pa sɛ yɛmfa ne sɛ obi bɛyɛ president na for the first time yɛsa akɔto aba na wɔanya bio na ɔkɔ one term a sɛ nipa korɔ no pɛ sɛ next time biara no ɔbɛyɛ flag bearer for the party na wɔsa aba bio a ɛtwa sɛ nhyehyɛ tɔ hɔ na saa president ɔsan sɛ menya kwanya mɛsa aba bio ɛba ne sɛ ni kwase yɛtiriti no na enjoy ex-president benefits nyinaa because obi president no wie ne terms a ɛnam sɛ wayɛ president pɛ na onni kwase so ɔkɔyɛ adwuma bio ne nti no Ghana ban na hwɛ no yɛma ne fie ma ne office yɛtua ne kate sɛ obi a wɔyɛ adwuma kɔ pension pɛpɛɛpɛ because onni kwase so ɔkɔyɛ adwuma biara bio wɔyɛ ex-president wabɛyɛ ɔman no agyapadeɛ nti sɛ obi kɔ pension na wɔstart ne pension entitlement a sɛnea onni kwase so ɔtumi sa akɔ register adwuma bio na wɔyɛ adwuma na ntu yɛtua no pension pen sara na sɛ obi bɛyɛ vice ex-president a hwɛ a aban no hwɛ no ɔman no hwɛ no na didie ne nom ne fira ne no kɔ bɛ na asetena biribi akyerɛ sɛ onni kwan so ɔkɔyɛ adwuma biara bio nti sɛ obi betwa one term na ne tira nye yi wantumi ama second term but still wɔyɛ willing sɛ wɔbɛsa stane bio di a me nkɔma dwene mu no na sɛ yɛ man ex gratia bi te sɛ MP foɔ no na ɔkɔtena se twɛn na onya kwa ba ne second term no a no bewie a na fe ya start yɛ treaty no with all entitlement sense no one term na no anya mabio no ono apeno so sɛ memma bio di a ɛne ani a start yɛ treaty no sɛ as a former president no a enjoy entitlement nyina me kasem wei for the reasons see I papa John Mahama so I or you will be a war enjoy former president entitlement nyina ya yamane fie tua ne kaye ne bibia na enti so osaba bio a na ne katua asem nso na te sei enti to me no constitution ho akakakra asese mpanimfo tena se no omde nhyehyɛ egu akwam because the asipe no asi enye suahunu firim ne ya nhyehyɛ to ho sebe ya next time bibi happen bio a yehunu se ne ebesi atua namo senti amani abri na meka we nso no ene se NDC dia koso ne kire se mu ya kire se ase mu nimdifoɔ bi wo part ne mu a ombetimi adi mu anim enti na chinchina age se ye papa John Mahama arme no to me no NDC mu no me hu se nipa wom na mum nipa ba akomienu bi atintim party no so a wɔn mma kwan ema democracy in the party no anya adwuma yie for example ya wo fane ye papa abamba be na wabɛyɛ speaker of parliament no Mummy and Conny records, who said the man is very good. I want NDC, ni suit, ni buy, na educational background, ni status, ni na fantasy, will bet me a depart in him, amena ye. And to me, no, ni power NDC, why say, ya quiet say, sabi impredious answer, Odifour pebi ana say, nipa na any party num, and a chinchina just say, Papa John Mahama. And no need be by ye. And timpani inform fancy shame we are quite na next time, BBC and penning for say, and when I be painting a boissewa or in bagura or in a near twin chain. Sashi saying Nama, Sa Supreme Court case here causes I have simpler and she share any constitution embra jumama atemuno ekowa no wano. San say the about 2013 ne masua hunu to omo ye nhihye pato entino bibia siam Ghana fo omo me mfasua hunu mfrim na fe ye hunu ye sinto ne yenya nhihye pa na ye nimu ntene maye abusuafo momo ame ne nsem ya lawyer ne mpanimfo anim na Ghana fo ye nyina nka mum ne yenwene ho ne yemfa nhihye panto akasa 1992 constitution parliamentarians ni nyina baje me dance say omo ya de be still ehia amendments ni changes bebre entimom ya nwene ho na fe yem fa nhihye ngu akwem na bibi babi wa anye yedin na twetia Edem ase bebre nim se ne abre bia motie me amodi nkomo ma no twasomo no mo beboa me amase me akonenem edem ase bebre nyame nhira ye nyina wa wo benya bia no sendema MP ana minister ana ban mu mpanimfo bia ana lawyer fo mpanimfo bia munimu no munimu wo mo no na enuro masom no mu ni hu dwumamae no ma no nkonenem edem ase bebre nyame nhira ye nyina amen.
Okay, enti opanyini akasa woso wonsa kan woso na enkodru empanyifo ni bi enkokọ omonsa na omohweso metima ye bibia afa ho a questions a obusa no te ni nyina obetimi de comment nso aba na yakenkan former attorney general enso the message about concerning court nsensem ya onso a kire na adwe very good point no onso o make here no yentie the former attorney general so the ebetu dwa efa court nsensem yi ho a ono so che na adwene ewo ho na yehwese no so yebetimi anya bibi afrimu a.
I'm sure you've been observing what's been going on at the elections petition, and we just wanted to start by asking you what has been your thinking or your views on what you've seen so far?
Well, I hope the audio is okay now. Is it okay? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, sir.
Very good, very good. Well, we have all been following. We were all involved in 2013 and all that. So we have indeed been following. We are all solicitors, and I don't think it would be proper to just say anything uncomplimentary about the way the lawyers are holding themselves. But otherwise, I have been following this is a civil trial, a criminal trial, and therefore you have the plaintiffs or the petitioners who would have to start their case, and then when they close, the defense or the respondents will also want to say something, whether to give evidence or not to give evidence and all that. So yes, up to that extent, I'm okay with it, unless you have any specific questions you want to ask.
What we wanted to touch on, sir, specifically would be then to start off by the judges have rejected the application so far that the EC chair should be compelled to answer on cross-examination. these decisions and the decision then to ask for an appeal? Have you seen any surprises in any of these things that have happened?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I believe these are quite elementary. I know you can't compel a party to give evidence, and they're trying to draw a distinction between the EC chair and the party, and it doesn't work that way. I mean, the EC chair is representing the EC, and that is why she has been signing all the affidavits on behalf of the EC. After all, a company or a creator of statutes has no hands and feet. They work through people, and if you identify the chairperson as the person who represents, and you are being told that then in that capacity she cannot be compelled to give evidence, I don't see why you should go around and come and tell us that you now want to subpoena her. What is the idea of compelling her and subpoenaing her? Are they not the same? If you subpoena somebody, you are compelling the person to go and give evidence. And if you ask the court to compel the person to give evidence, it is the same. So as far as I'm concerned, once the court has given a clear ruling on the 11th of February that she is not compellable, I don't think that the other application to subpoena will lie. And again, this review application will lie, because it's also basically rehashes the same points for which they were asking that she should be made to mount the witness box. There is nothing that, in my view, has come out, and this review may not go anywhere.
Right. So with that in mind, sir, we're looking at these reviews and the fact that they've been asked for at all. Would this be a normal tactic, though? I mean, where it chooses to, it goes or doesn't go. Would this be what you'd expect, though, from a petitioner, that they would make these kinds of reviews and challenges anyway?
If their idea is to delay, it will not work. One should have to draw a clear distinction between the 2013 petition and this one, because in the 2013 decision there were no clear-cut rules as to the number of days that the petition hearing must take. Since then, 2016, we have had new rules which limits the time to about 42 days in all. So it is not like an open hearing like it happened in 2013, when it took about 8 months to deal with the petition hearing. This time the court keeps reminding them that no delays will be entertained. So to me, if it is a delay tactics that they have in mind, I don't think that it will work. It won't work. The judges are clear in their mind that they want to follow the rules strictly and get over it. Maybe somebody thinks that he may, because of his stature, maybe have his way, but I don't think it works that way. The judges have their day in court, just like the lawyers have their day in court. So the lawyers must respect the judges and do their bidding. Now, this stay of execution is still saying that because they want a review, it means that they cannot comply with the order to file their writtens of addresses by today. That again will go against the orders of the court, because the court says that once it makes orders, it must be respected. And overall, if you ask me, the point of the matter is that you are petitioners, you have brought a case to court, you are alleging that nobody got 50+1. The onus of proof is on you, and you have not provided any evidence so far. All your witnesses has been asked if they have any figures. They claim they have the figures. Bring the figures. Then they say no, but we are not the EC, so we cannot give you any figures. At the end of the day, what prima facie case have you made to warrant the respondents to also open their defense, as it were? So these are the real issues.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You see, my learned brother on the other side has been in this game for some time, although some of us are old waddies now. He is aware that we are not before a committee of inquiry or a commission of inquiry. We are in the court of law, and the court of law works with rules. Either you are following the rules, or you lose on every application you bring to the court. And that is what has happened. Unfortunately for them, all the rulings have been unanimous. All the judges speak the same language. It is not like anybody is even trying to dissent from anything that has come before them. The point of the matter is that you chose to go to court. When you went to court, you asked a particular or specific relief, which was that nobody crossed the 50+1. That is a burden you put upon yourself, and they ask you now, prove it. Then you say, no, let the defendant rather prove it. We are talking about court. It is not a commission of inquiry. So who has the burden? You know that those of you alleging that nobody crosses the 50+1 will then have the burden to prove that one. Bring your figures, your act. Do you have, or do you want to inspect documents? Said, oh, fine, that is a nice application, but duplicate documents are as good as the originals. So do you have them? Then your lead counsel says, yes, we have them. Why don't you bring them? Say, I am not the returning officer, so I will not produce them. What do you think you are doing before a court of law, when you are not ready to give us a prima facie case from which the defense or the respondents must have to respond? This is where we are. It is not a commission of inquiry. It is a court, and they are bound by the rules. So they cannot pick and choose. When, how do you say that go and mount the witness box, then I will show you that you erred? Truth be told, on the 9th, the chairperson made an announcement. On the 10th, he said, I'm sorry, but I added all the total votes, which includes the rejected votes or rejected ballots. And by law, the 63 that he is mentioning, the percentage should only be worked on the valid votes cast. So we have to deduct that one. In the box, Asiedu Nketia was given a calculator to calculate the votes that were allotted to each candidate. At the end of the day, it came close to the figure that the lady has been talking about, 13-1. It was not 13-4. So what is all this noise about when the correction has been done on the 10th? You still insist that as for you, you are going to talk about the figure which was announced on the 9th. Clearly, on the 9th, the chairperson said that the results from Techiman South had not come. If in the course of time the results from Techiman South comes, those results must have to be allotted to candidates, and the percentages struck once again. So why are we talking about changing of figures? On the 9th, the figure which was given included rejected ballots. Is President Mahama saying that the rejected ballots should be given to him? Nobody benefits from a rejected ballot. So all the rejected ballots were taken out. Then that was what happened. On the 10th, the figure will actually change. Then the Techiman South came, and we now know the actual figures. Now it is not a case of saying that let us add all the, even if we add all the votes to John Mahama, he will still not get the 50+1. But now we have the figures, so the figures were then added. What is this litigation about? What is this litigation?
Okay, now
mistakes can always be made. You wanted a rerun before you see you. That was a mistake. You went and corrected it. Somebody Nunu was talking about 2021 instead of 2020. Several mistakes have been made and corrected. Why?
That's why former Attorney General Anna Casano. Watch the Elko swallow, no, the Onimumbrana Casa, watch the Echo. NDC for wait minimum comment, go MPP for minimum comment, or Ghana for wait minimum comment, go live for watch a program to Eddie Mame. NDC for yes, Ram. Umakuru Monjoka Krawati. Na yantutunyo mana ya swasi what I say.